Join me as I dig deep to uncover the secrets that Lillian Hart has been hiding. Lillian Hart has built a massive following across social media platforms, captivating her audience with her charming smile and seemingly perfect life. But behind the curtain of her glamorous posts and updates, rumors and speculation have begun to swirl. What could she be hiding from her devoted fans? To understand the mystery, we have to start at the beginning. Before the controversy, before the scandal, before the cracks began to show, Lillian Hart's online journey started like so many others, quiet, modest, and driven by what seemed like genuine passion. She was 22 when she uploaded her first YouTube video in 2016, a soft-spoken "Get Ready With Me" filmed on her phone in a cramped dorm room. No ring lights, no edits, just a girl doing her makeup and chatting about her day. There was something relatable about her. She didn't seem like she was trying to be famous. She just wanted to connect. And it worked. Within 6 months, she hit 100K subscribers. By the end of the year, Lillian had gone full-time influencer. Brand sponsorships came flooding in. Sephora, Urban Outfitters, even a limited fashion line collab. But it wasn't just the makeup and outfits people came for. Lillian opened up about her struggles, anxiety, imposter syndrome, a difficult relationship with her mother. She cried on camera. She laughed. She told stories that made people feel like they weren't alone. Her fans weren't just followers, they were devoted. They called themselves Lil's Angels. But as her fame grew, so did something else. A carefully curated image. Perfect lighting. Scripted, candid moments. Polished apologies. And one rule above all: keep the cracks covered. The first real cracks in Lillian's perfect facade didn't come from haters or gossip sites. They came from people who knew her, who used to work with her. In 2020, a small Reddit thread began gaining traction. It was titled, "I Worked with Lillian Hart, AMA." The user didn't share their name, but claimed to have been a part of her management team for over a year. At first, people assumed it was fake. But then they shared screenshots. Not just DMs, but email threads. Brand contract notes. Meeting logs. Details only someone with real access could have known. And what they described wasn't the Lillian fans knew. They painted a picture of someone obsessed with control. Paranoid. Vindictive. Manipulative behind closed doors. They claimed Lillian used burner accounts to stalk rival influencers, sabotage deals for creators she considered threats, and would explode behind the scenes when videos didn't perform well. The user described one particularly disturbing moment. After a video underperformed, Lillian allegedly screamed at a makeup artist for over 40 minutes, then locked herself in her trailer, refusing to film unless the crew brought her a new energy. To be clear, none of this was ever officially confirmed. Lillian never responded directly to the thread. Her fans called it fake, a smear campaign, but the screenshots stayed up. The questions never really went away. And then something else surfaced. In March 2021, an episode of an indie podcast called The Creative Hustle featured a guest with a disguised voice. The episode was pulled just days later, but not before a few Redditors downloaded it and transcribed every word. The guest, calling herself Maya, claimed to have once lived with Lillian. She said she'd moved to LA after college, responded to a Craigslist ad, and ended up in a shared apartment with a girl who turned out to be the Lillian Hart. What she described next was unsettling. According to Maya, Lillian was completely different behind closed doors. Cruel, secretive, cold. She allegedly kept a locked drawer filled with burner phones. She had strict rules: no guests, no filming in common spaces, and never mention her past. But the most disturbing claim? Maya said she once saw Lillian practicing fake crying in front of a mirror, rehearsing different angles, camera lighting, and how to make tears fall at the right time. She said Lillian told her, quote, "Real emotion doesn't sell. The illusion of vulnerability does." When pressed for proof, Maya said she had none, just memories. But she warned listeners, don't believe the smile. It's not for you. It's for the camera. In the weeks that followed, something shifted. Lillian's channel went oddly quiet. Her upload schedule became sporadic. She stopped responding to fan DMs. Her comments section, once a hub of interaction, became flooded with unanswered questions. And then came the mass unfollowing. A dozen influencer friends, people Lillian had previously collaborated with, unfollowed her on Instagram. No drama, no callouts, just silence. It was influencer code for, "We know something you don't." Fans noticed. Screenshots went viral. A TikTok with the caption, "Lillian Hart's career is low-key crumbling," racked up over 3 million views. Lillian finally broke the silence. She posted a 6-minute YouTube video titled, "Let's Talk." It was calm, controlled, polished. She dismissed the rumors, said she was stepping back for her mental health. Didn't mention Maya, didn't mention the thread, didn't address the unfollowing. But her fans weren't satisfied, because that wasn't the Lillian they'd come to trust. In June 2022, the bombshell hit. An anonymous whistleblower sent a folder of internal emails to a popular YouTube drama channel. The emails were between Lillian and a PR team she'd hired in early 2021. The subject line of one email read, "Crisis strategy, exposure risk." What followed was a 28-page strategy on how to handle an unnamed scandal, including recommendations to pre-write apologies, stage a health retreat, and selectively leak sympathetic stories to distract from the real issue. But the most damning email? A message from Lillian herself, where she wrote, "The truth can't come out. If it does, it's over." What truth was she referring to? That's when people started digging deeper. For months, no one could figure out what the truth Lillian feared was. Then, a journalist named Devin Reyes published a Substack article that blew the story wide open. Reyes had followed Lillian's rise for years, and what he uncovered was this. In 2019, Lillian had partnered with an international NGO for a documentary-style video project in Southeast Asia. The project claimed to spotlight local women-owned businesses and empower marginalized voices. But Reyes discovered that multiple women in the video had been paid to say scripted lines. The scenes were staged. The marketplace was actually a rental set. And most shocking of all, 2 women Lillian interviewed for the series were later found to have received nothing from the charity drive Lillian promised her followers had supported them. When the NGO was contacted for comment, they released a statement denying knowledge of the deception, placing the blame squarely on Lillian's production team. Lillian never addressed it, but fans started to connect the dots. Was this the secret she didn't want exposed? In early 2023, Lillian Hart disappeared from social media. No uploads, no posts, no stories. Her brand deals dried up. Her followers dropped by over 500,000 in 3 months. She went dark. Speculation ran wild. Was she planning a comeback? Rebranding under a new name? Or had the truth finally caught up with her? And then, 6 months later, she returned with a post. A single black and white image. A handwritten note. It read, "I was not who I pretended to be. I'm working on that. Thank you for those who stayed." The comments were mixed. Some offered forgiveness. Others called it manipulation. But one thing was clear. The illusion was gone. So what does this all mean? Was Lillian Hart just another influencer caught in a lie? Or was she a product of a system that rewards performance over truth? Her story forces us to question everything. How much of what we see online is real? Why do we place so much trust in people we've never met? And what happens when a mask finally slips? You decide. If you have any thoughts on Lillian Hart or this topic, please leave them in the comments below. If you're interested in more content like this, check out my video on the chilling Melanie Melanson cold case.